All right, welcome to the Underdog Ecom podcast, where two ecom brand founders are figuring out in real time.
Yeah, we're not here to preach. We're here in the thick of it, making mistakes, testing all sorts of ideas, and really sharing the journey of how we've been growing these brands from day zero. Hopefully you learn a little bit, perhaps come away with some ideas that save you time and money. And so if you're tired of the same glittery D2C advice from those 9-figure gurus, you're here in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Hello. We're back. It is mid-October, and hopefully we'll get this out in October, but this is the Underdog Ecom podcast. We are loving life right now in October. It's just so fun. Such a great time of year. No issues, no problems to solve, no puzzles that we've been puzzled by. But this episode we're going to dig into a little bit, kind of catch up, talk about how things have been going. Spoiler alert, it's hard. And yeah, just a little catch-up episode on what's up. So, Jack, how you doing? How was your trip overseas?
I'm right, stressed a little bit. It was a good trip, but got a lot done. Awesome stuff out there. I did a photo shoot out there, which was really cool. Saw the new products and stuff we're launching and stuff. So that was fun. But just it's a stressful time. I think this is this crunch time in terms of other brands I spoke to as well that trying to make sure they get stock in, trying to kind of just last minute plan things they haven't planned. It's all this kind of you just suddenly realize it's all coming up soon, the end of the year, and trying to make the most of it. But otherwise, all right. What about yourself?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But that's just par for the course. Not sleeping a whole lot. Thanks, shout out kids, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I feels like, what did I say off air? It feels like the harder I try, the worse things get sometimes. And I feel like over the last month, it's been really tough. I've been trying to rebuild a lot of parts of the business, specifically ads and marketing efficiency. And I feel like I kind of get some wins here and there, but then it's not like we talked about last episode. Go back and listen to it if you want. I was going to burn down my entire ad account strategy and campaigns and everything like that and start over. And I did, and I've been working on that, and I feel like I've been spending so much time in Facebook Ad Manager, analyzing ads and then recreating ads and turning off ads and moving ads to a new ad set when they do well, and then for some reason when their new ad set they tank, which is just so fun. And so that's been pretty frustrating, and it feels like it'd be nice to have a W. There's been some W's. This jacket launched last week, which is my newest product, and did pretty well. So that's been pretty great, and there's other things that have been happening, but it's been tricky. The ad library stuff is I don't know. There's something to be said for products and product market fit and offers and all these things that kind of lead into it, and brand marketing, making sure that your brand's out there and having it whatever the angles are. I think with our brands, both of them are kind of under the umbrella of fashion, and so it's kind of with fashion, you want people to see it and like it right away. You can lean into offers and stuff and offer testing, but I think that there's a lot of see it and I want it kind of feeling. And so a lot of that leads to product market fit and brand marketing, and so I've been spending a lot of time improving products and making custom products and things that people really want. Last year I had a really good product that did well, and so this year I launched a product that was kind of a spin-off of that product that's done pretty well. But it takes so much time to go from zero to finished product that I feel like I don't have the gaps filled in, especially as one person. It's really hard to fill in those gaps of okay, I'm using a bunch of cash for this type of thing, but until it gets here I need to generate revenue, and so let's make some other things that are more kind of filler products in the release schedule. I need to have a release schedule. I don't have a release schedule right now. That's something I want to work on for next year, where I have more segmented releases like most apparel companies. So moving all of these little pieces in the background of things to try and line up things to be better has also been something that's been on my plate. I think I don't even remember what your question was. I think I just started talking.
I agree.
A little sleep deprived.
Yeah, well, it's early morning for you, evening for me, but yeah, I think I agree. It's really hard, especially you mentioned about the importance of newness, limited releases, giving people things to talk about. But it is really hard when you're like us, when it's you're just me and me, basically, me, myself, and I, just trying to do it all. And and it's hard to keep that release schedule. It's hard to like even promote it properly, allocate cash to all this and stuff. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like a tactic. It seems like one of those tactics that it does help grow the brand, but of course it has a lot of risk as well because
Mm-hmm.
there are things that can flop, and once you've tied your cash into that, then it can you haven't got it to put somewhere else, and that makes it really hard, especially on our size. And I think people like to say, well, yeah, but just underestimate like how much you're going to sell. I think that's great, but like we live in a world of MOQs and like
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and you can't just make a very very small amount of something most of the time unless you want to pay like through the nose for it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always like it's a really tough part of it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing, so yeah, I agree. Like, and kind of like I was saying, the the harder I try, the further I sink into the mud or something. Facebook ads has been a struggle. Also, content's been a struggle. I feel like I've tried really hard over the last year to focus on content and build the content machine to feed the machine of the algos and stuff. But the Facebook and Instagram, like the Instagram algorithm has changed so substantially over the last 12 months that it seems like the only things that go anywhere are rage bait and inflammatory posts and that sort of thing, and anything that's related to product doesn't go anywhere. And so that's been one of the primary vessels, has been Instagram for my brand over the last couple of years, and that's been very very much a struggle to like try and figure out like, oh, what's actually going to work here. I think I've and you're constantly like coming up with ideas and creating the content, putting it out, kind of seeing it flop, move on to the next idea, and it's just like this hamster wheel that can be pretty exhausting. And we talked about this a little bit off the pod, but it was kind of the idea that attention is the new currency, which I think Gary Vee I think coined or something like that. But it's so true. It's like everyone's spread so thin, I think, in terms of customers and the customer base and stuff, and like people are using social media less. I think there's probably a big drop off in active monthly users. People are split across different platforms. The algorithms are changing, and it's not just social media. Like you had mentioned, emails changed so much, and like all these other sort of attention avenues that we were previously able to build brands through are a lot more difficult and just like a lot different these days.
Yeah, yeah. We're moving into this time. We spoke about this off air, but we're moving into a time where like audiences are not owned in like any sense of the word. And I think that this is with email. It's going to be very similar. People just aren't staying on email lists for as long as they used to because they know they can easily subscribe, unsubscribe. It's like I can understand it. So, but and with content as well. It's you're valued based on your last post versus anything else. And so yeah, it is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how we adapt. I almost think we need like a new platform, a new
Yeah.
way to reach people really because it's
Mm-hmm.
getting all these areas like have been around for a while now. I mean, Instagram's been around for so long, like TikTok's been
Mm-hmm.
around for a while now, and like email's been around for a long, long time. And so it's one of those things where I think they've been well trodden, and it's hard to grow an audience there, especially when the platforms are de-incentivizing audiences. And it's like, well, how much effort do you want to put into one video when it's really not going to bring like a following that you can like leverage?
Yeah. You mean all the hours I spend on my videos that go and get like 5 likes out of 70,000 followers? Love
Oh,
it.
it happens to me as well. Happens to me as well.
Yeah. It's so hard, and there's like, I think it would be nice if there was some new thing that came out that could harness the attention, but I think it's just, I don't know if that's actually going to come at all. I think that just the attention economy has changed over the last 10 years and will continue to kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's crashing and burning, like the whole attention economy kind of thing, where it's like, okay, social media used to be able to build brands on it and people would follow and stuff, and it's still there for some brands that have really really loyal followers, and but if you lose it, it's like so hard to get it back, and it's so hard to get back in front of those people, and everything is just, it's so noisy. Like you're talking about email, people get hundreds of emails from different brands and that sort of thing, and there's easy ways to unsubscribe in the platforms, there's promotion tabs, and so emails used to be, and they still are to a certain extent, like the direct line to your customer, whatever, versus social media, but that line is getting like sliced and diced so quickly, as with everything. I don't know where the new mechanics for getting into people's like eyeballs. It's like you just have to get them really, like you kind of have to like I don't know, like really grab them and really have super engaging content. Like I feel like that's kind of the new path forward, but that's crazy hard to do unless you're naturally like a content creator or storyteller and that sort of thing and can really make that sort of stuff that people really want.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing comes down to that you can't rely too much on one channel anymore, because of
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it is so hard. And I think that I wouldn't say like there's any channel like better than the other, they're all difficult, but I just think that it getting to a point where like you almost have to be able to pull revenue in from multiple places, because not just because the channels are hard, but because there's volatility. From a D2C side, there's been so much volatility this year in terms of whether it's like from an ad perspective, whether it's from tariff perspective, whether it's from from all these different things. And so I think that you almost have to be able to bring through revenue from other areas, and that's something I'm trying to focus a bit more on. Is that be open to other areas of revenue in terms of like whether it's retail, whether it's like we've done some more co-branded stuff recently, which it wasn't an option before, and I just created a page on the site that kind of showed some of the stuff we've done, like small key stuff, and it's grown because people suddenly see that and they think, oh, actually, I'd like to do that, give that as a gift to my employees or whatever, or I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to give, so it's not. I mean, it's not. Again, that's not an easy channel to do either, because there's a lead time associated. It takes communication back and forth to people. Some people like want to do it and they pull out and stuff. So it's not like an
Mm-hmm.
easy channel, and I wouldn't say like it's a real growth lever. But like I feel like this being openness to other revenue sources is really important nowadays, just because of like how little control we have over everything, I think.
Yeah. Being really, really scrappy. I've kind of done similar things over the last couple months where I've made some custom products, like not even co branded stuff, where it's like, oh, no, my expertise is making apparel. Let me make you some cool hats or make you some sweatshirts or something like that, and leaning on my connections and my suppliers and stuff. And it's kind of an interesting avenue. It's like under the umbrella of my company, but I don't really like publicize it that much or whatnot. But it's dollars, so take it where I can get it.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it's tough right now, but I think we've got hopefully got some good weeks ahead. I think it just comes into like now it's like a lot of the challenges, making sure that we have inventory, making sure that things come in time,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have stuff to sell. I think that's a big part of it as well right now.
Yeah, that's actually one of my problems that I've been facing recently is I tried to so a lot of times in the past when I run out of stuff, I'll order it sort of ad hoc. And it's like, okay, we're getting low on this thing, let's order this thing. And a couple months ago, I decided to try and batch everything together because it would be more efficient for the supplier. We can bundle things together for shipping, and that will so we can like often in the past when I've done restocks, I've had it all air shipped, which is not cheap, but it's fast and that's nice. And this time it's like, okay, let's do like 20 different products restocked at once, and we'll split the shipment. We'll do some air for an early delivery and then some sea. But then things just take so much longer than you think, and I'm like, okay, these were supposed to be here a month ago, and so I've had a bunch of it's probably like certain categories I've had half of them out of stock for like a month or two. And I see people commenting like, when are these coming back? I want these things. And it's like, well, I tried to do this idea that I thought would be better for the brand, but because everything takes longer than you expect, and because it was a new process, like it took a little bit, it was just more involved, and so things are behind schedule. And then it's like, well, I need to start moving those things off the shelves to pay for the other inventory. And it's like, well, now I'm caught because the things that are out of stock, like I can't do anything. I just have to wait for them to show up. And I'm not sure if I want to do that type of big restock of a bunch of things at once again until I
Yeah.
get things more segmented into different seasons or whatever the different release cycle is. But that's, yeah, I mean, that's hard for inventory. It's like you can't do much if you don't have the things that people want. And I think that is kind of like fighting with your hands behind your back, because if your inventory and your processes behind that and your restocks and that sort of thing aren't hammered out, like then you are fighting with your hands behind your back in some ways, because that's like the ultimate driver of revenue is if things are there for you to sell.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately as well. Is that I've been trying to reduce, like, I'm thinking about anyway, reducing SKUs, just because of like,
Mm-hmm.
I just done a production run where I think we've done 7 different products, and that's been hard for our supply because the first time we manufactured them, doing seven different styles, 7 different tech packs, 7 different
Yeah.
And also like it's been a drain on them in terms of like they've helped me out a lot because really realistically I should be making more, like I should be hitting MOQs on each SKU and I'm not, and so they're kind of helping out. And so like that's a tough thing as well, is where I kind of get to the point where actually wouldn't it be better just to um like make like, and I think this is very different from apparel, because I think apparel there is a volume side of like the catalog and everything, which is really important. At least for me anyway, I kind of think about like trying to consolidate, because actually if I could spend more of my money on in one source, whether it's from a production standpoint, whether it's from an ad standpoint, whether all this other thing, like content standpoint, it suddenly becomes a lot easier to scale to grow something, because all your forces are going towards one thing versus trying to make multiple products hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially as they're not like new, it's like a new launch. It's like the products that we've been producing for a while, maybe improve them a little bit, but it is hard, and keeping them all in stock as well. And then when you have
Mm-hmm.
multiple products in stock, like you said, when you have multiple products available, like there are different pockets of people who want that product, and therefore you feel like you're laying them down if you don't have it in stock. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the focusing of having several different SKUs and several different types of products. It's just like, oh, it's that's fine. Like I'll just cater this to a different audience and it'll be complementary and that's good because experts say that's good. But when you're when your focus is so small and you're basically like one person or a very very small company, or you're an underdog, let's say, then yeah, you like then you have to be like, oh, well, actually, the multiplier effect. If I have 5 different products and I need to come up with 10 different ad angles every week for that, that's 50 different ads every week. Like, that's a ton of work to try and figure out what's going to work for the different things. And that it's like, it's really splinters your focus so much. And then it's like, oh, well, then different restocks and different colors. And I struggle with this a lot. I think apparel's a lot different than most products out there where, like, a large, and generally, like, people are like, large catalog of items is bad, like focus on what works and that sort of thing. But I think apparel is the exception to that rule, and that's been something I've tried to figure out the best path forward without getting it too complicated, because people want the new fresh things and you kind of have to be working on the new fresh things for apparel. But also it's been interesting because I have several products that have done well over the last couple of years that I haven't really changed, and so I'm changing them and like adding new colors and that sort of thing. And I think that is good, but you kind of have to be careful as well because I feel like now I'm spending so much time on just managing POs and tech packs and those sorts of things that it takes away from the other areas of the business. So it's tricky. It's all tricky.
Yeah, it is all tricky, and I think it's a really hard time for like ecom in general. I mean, I think we've spoken about this a few times in other episodes, but I think it just comes down to finding a way in many ways, because we don't know where things are gonna go. I've got that bottle. I've got that bottle here somewhere. I'm gonna go and bring it into the episode. One second.
Oh yeah, this is a laser etched Topo bottle. Just a
I
little
love
product
it.
placement. Yeah, there we go. What's up? It's a
Love
good
it.
bottle. It's a good bottle.
It's a really nice bottle. I love the like the topography and stuff. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Sorry,
Brought
I
to
had
you
to do
by
that.
Rainier Watch. No big deal. Love it. Nice.
Yeah. No, I think indeed survival is a big part of it. Like we mentioned this before, but I think it's finding a way
Mm-hmm.
to make it work, because I think and I saw like maybe it was from Sean Frank, but it was something about like how like you got to must be like a cactus, like you just got to be one of the last remaining standing, no matter what the situation is, about the
That's
extremities, the
funny.
environment.
Just stay
Yeah,
alive.
yeah,
Like,
just stay alive. And I think
just stay alive.
yeah, because we just don't know where things are going, and I think too much emphasis right now is placed on. It's funny because people talk about profitability more in these days, but I still think a business growing steadily is really important to most people. But I think that like little importance is placed on survival, and actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that term, the infinite game. Essentially, a business is in the infinite game, and the actual end goal is actually survival. I mean, like in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
you just want to stick around. Of course, you want to be bigger, but actually, that's almost a secondary thing. The primary thing is actually surviving and being around, because it's an infinite game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like Simon Sinek. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's like he coined the term like infinite game. He talks about how like marriage is a bit like that, in the sense that like you don't win at marriage, but like it lasts, and that's the
That's
objective, for
funny.
it to last. And it's like similar with business. It's like it's
Huh.
an infinite game, and so
Huh.
the short term mindset sometimes kind of gets at us. And I think especially when you look at maybe like last year's numbers, you think, well, this is not as much I would have wanted to grow. And then, but then you think about, if you think about, like, if you turn it around and think about everything like we've dealt with in the last few months, like just from January till now, and all the crazy stuff that's happening,
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of almost amazing that we're like able to find a way through that. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's part of it, I think, as well.
That's that's really good thoughts, because it's definitely something in the past where I've struggled with, like, oh, I want these numbers to be way bigger, and as a human it's very natural to be emotional about numbers or whatever, and get caught up in like, oh, I want to hit X amount of sales last month or whatnot. And a lot of my focus has been on profitability this year, and like making sure the numbers are working and struggling through getting marketing efficiency better. But like definitely last year, that was, I got too caught up in a lot of those things where it's like, okay, let's double our order this year because it'll be better. And like, well, no, you should survive. Like I feel like I need to get like a little cactus or something and put it on my desk. Be like the cactus. Just sit there and survive. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll swing by the garden store and get a cactus.
Just to remind you,
Just have it right here. We'll have it for next time. It'll be the prop. Brought to you by Cactus. Just survive. Survival is key.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, it's tough out there for underdogs, I think. I mean, it's tough for everyone, I think, but also it's like when you're spread so thin, you haven't been there before, you don't know exactly what you're doing, you don't know where the next dollar is going to come. It's really tough, and it's like you trying to pinch pennies as much as possible and just survive. But yeah, man, it's rough.
Yeah. And I heard something about I was listening to something the other day from like Kurt Elster said, where he was saying, I can't remember, it was in a post, maybe it was a post actually, but where he was at this, I don't know, some conference. And Kurt Elster's from the unofficial Shopify
Yep.
or Ethicycle agency. Anyway,
Yep.
he was saying on like a post something, how he was at a conference. The thing he kept hearing was like that the brands were like starting to feel like they were like being profitable, but they were carrying all this legacy debt behind. So it was almost like running with weights, because like you finally get to where you want to get to, but actually the amount of debt you've accumulated and things like that to get there is almost like but like that's a really difficult situation to be in. But at the same time, unless there's a few brands that are able to bypass that, but most of us won't, and most of us will have to deal with that. And it doesn't mean you should just accept debt and accept difficulties like that, but at the same time it's part and parcel. And I think that you sometimes have to find hard ways to get somewhere, and it might make it even harder further down the line, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong choice, I think.
Yeah, I think it's an important reminder that like there's tons of brands out there, and there's a ton of ones that are really struggling. There's a ton that'll fail, and it's like a lot of the success stories or the big names that you follow or whatever. Like I know that I follow a bunch of big name brands. Are like, oh, I'd love to be like this brand someday, and I have dreams to become like Patagonia. I mean, Patagonia's right there, that poster. Like, I'd love to be like something like that someday, but it's like focus on where you're at and just keep going, just keep swimming, be like a cactus, stay alive, and fight for it every day. And it's a lot of work and it's hard, but that's where we're at, I guess.
Yeah,
I think we're going to make this a shorter episode to save everyone's ears. Are there any other wrap-up thoughts that you have, Jack?
No, I think like that's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll change tack next episode. We'll move on to something a bit like maybe, a bit different. I think on like in terms of like, I think we've talked a lot about the difficulties around it. I think because it's this time of year, we're dealing with a lot of difficulties. But I think it's been good to talk about it. But I think there's obviously tons of other stuff we can chat about. So yeah, looking forward to the next one as well.
Yeah, and if you have ideas what we should talk about, drop us comments, emails, that sort of thing. Give us your favorite 5-star review on your favorite platform. Favorite 5-star review.
That would really make us happy.
Editor, cut that out. Just kidding, we don't have an editor. Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Jack?
No, I agree. I want that 5-star review.
Yeah, let's get it. All right.
All right, thanks guys.
Peace out, everyone.